Hi everyone, Raven here, and today I'm going to be summarizing the live broadcast again on unpopular opinion before you invest in crypto and NFTs. Now, straight to the point, you need to know your money personality and personal preferences and style before you go making crazy big investments in areas that you're not comfortable in. So, here's how this works in practice. What we would want to do, in theory, because none of this is advice, it is just opinions only. Always seek advice from your financial advisor. What we'd want to do is know our money personality and investing style. So you can go over to moneymind.global and check our 5 free samplers on money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills and legacy to see roughly where you're at in these 5 areas. You can use that as a checklist to check against, which is what MoneyMind was created for, so that we can all get a little bit more financial literacy, stability in our lives, especially in these foundational areas, these 5 foundational concepts of financial stability and financial literacy. So, knowing our personal personality, right? Like, I'm Raven, I like to eat chocolate, I like to buy expensive sneakers, I watched the whole of Boba Fett on Netflix, right? Like in one go. So, I know these things about myself and I can listen pretty quickly. My money personality, I am more of a spender than a saver type. So I counterbalance that in specific ways. I have a very high risk tolerance, and that also ties in some ways with my spender type personality. I'm willing to take risks, right? Also because of my mind and personality type, that I'm quite data driven as well as behavioral psychology interested. So I will watch markets in certain ways that I can then make judgments on, right? My personality is INTJ, the architect. Like, this high risk profile fits my personality. But I can list with my money personality that, this is how it is. I'm more of a spender than a saver. I have a high risk tolerance. I like to weight both ways, like risky and not risky. I'm a selective spender as well, so I will choose what areas that I want to spend in or not want to spend in my overall life. I struggle with budgeting, so I have my own flexible budgeting system, but I really spend a lot of focus and energy on constantly maintaining the habit that is the least natural to me, which is expense tracking my expenses daily. So this is an area that is less strong for me, but I'm really proud of my own efforts in doing this every single day. I track my expenses every single day, and I have been for years now. Like, it's just a thing that I like to do, and I have to work at it to do it and remember to do it and to keep up the habit. So it's not a habit that is like been there and then is stuck now. I still have to work at it. So I can list these things about myself, my money personality, just like I could list the other things about liking chocolate and watching all of Boba Fett. Can you do the same? That's the question. What is your money personality? Are you more of a saver or a spender? What's your risk profile? What are some other things that you have in your life? What's your savings style or preference? What is your budgeting style or preference? Do you have selective spending habits? Is there things that you can say very clearly about your money preference and your money personality that are just as fast for you to be able to say as your normal personality? So that's what we want to know about ourselves. If we don't know that about ourselves, then it may be a little bit risky to jump into investing in things that we don't know about, like crypto or NFTs, unless we're already really eager and comfortable and happy to do that. But if you're watching this video, then it's more likely that you're still not quite sure about whether crypto and NFTs are the future or right for you, or if there's something that you have missed out on, or like just what the status is. There may be uncertainty around this area. So what I feel like is best for us to do before we start investing in crypto and NFTs, especially if we consider investing like quite heavily, not like 1 or 2 here, but actually investing in this area, we want to know whether we're comfortable with that or whether we're doing it because we have FOMO. So FOMO, bad. No, this is not the area for you. If you have FOMO, the best way to go about dealing with this is to educate yourself more like logically in this area. Step away from crazy Instagram like hype and say, okay, what's the data? Where can I find other people who are more data driven about the future of this area? Right? Because it has to have a future if you're going to invest in it. Because if it's not going to be around and you can't see where it's going to land or at least be existing in 20, 30 years, then I mean, maybe if you've got like some kind of short-term thing going on and you're like really excellent, but if you're already at that level, then you know, like, well, what are you watching this video for, right? You're not uncertain. You know what you're doing. So what we want to know is like, is Disney going to be there in 30 years? Is blockchain going to be there in 30 years? Is, these things, are they long-term buys for us? Or even, are we comfortable riding the wave and getting out before there is any change in what is currently going on, right? In terms of like in a really, really fundamental way. So knowing ourselves, knowing our style, knowing our confidence and comfort level is what we want to know before going into investing in this area. Now, if our financial advisor says you have a very stable weighted portfolio and we advise having some tiny risk sliver that is crypto and NFTs, we can totally consider that. If that is advice based on a very responsible financial advisor's advice to us regarding our portfolio, then maybe that's something we want to consider. However, if we are not comfortable in that area and our financial advisor says you need to go into this area, then we have two choices. We can either get a new financial advisor or we can educate ourselves in that area to make sure that their advice to us is something that we can like assimilate into our brains in terms of safety and security. So our brains are always going to want to keep us safe. They're going to want to avoid risk. They're going to want to avoid anything that can make us feel unsettled or fearful. And so if this is an area that makes us feel unsettled and fearful, what we might want to do is just educate ourselves in that area. If our financial advisor is advising this in a way that is not going to affect the stability of the rest of our portfolio, then if we're really adverse to it, maybe that might be a fear-based thing, and we can help settle the fear by finding more information about why this is not that bad, why this is not that scary, okay? And that will help our brains. So if the financial advisor is like, you should go really heavy and like destabilize the rest of your portfolio, find a new financial advisor. If you're not comfortable with that area and that strategy, you need to have people financially advising you that you are comfortable with and you trust to make you and your decisions better about your money and your financial life. All of this and everything that I will talk about at moneymind.global, everything in our financial literacy courses and everything that our social enterprise is about helping you make the best decisions that serve you and your life as best that you can. That's all, right? We want you to feel comfortable with your life and how you are managing your money so that you can carry on with the rest of your life and focus on what's really important. Life, family, enjoying everything, travel, whatever it may be. But that's what money's for, to help us, not hinder us. And we want to make sure that before we dive into investing in crypto and NFTs, we know ourselves, we know our money style, personality, preferences. We've got these 5 pillars covered: money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills, and legacy. And we want to make sure that we are stable in these areas before we go investing very heavy amounts into any very risky area, because it may be something we regret in the future if we don't know what we're doing. And more importantly, if we're not comfortable or confident with what we're doing. Because if we're just doing it because of FOMO, that's not based in our confidence and comfort level, and we could potentially risk having regret about it. But if we're comfortable and confident in it, we make that decision, and then it goes really badly, then at least we'll say, nah, was still my decision. And that is a really big difference that we want to have in our investing life, in our investing style, in our portfolio, just in every area of our life, really. We want to be confident, right? So just before we sign off on this short summary, not so short summary of today's broadcast on before you invest in crypto and NFTs, I just wanted to say as a personal opinion on top of these other personal opinions that we want to make sure that we are really clean and settled. In my opinion, you want to have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency funds saved. You want to have your savings habit as a habit. You want to be expense tracking where your money's going, or at least know where it's going, right, on a daily basis and monthly, weekly as well. And you want to have some investing experience already, okay, so that you're okay with what happens in markets and what is going on in this type of space, so that you're not as inclined to just be dragged along with the waves like someone who doesn't know how to swim, sort of like drowning on all these different opinions and stuff. You want to be at least a decent swimmer before you go like ocean diving with your friends, yeah? So, okay, so that's just my personal opinion on top of the opinions. You can check those areas for yourself at our free samplers over at www.moneymind.global. Please go and do that if you are uncertain about this area. The 5 free sampler areas are money mindsets, savings, budgeting, investing, wills and legacy, and they're really just a checklist for you to say, yes, I'm good in all these areas. That's all from me for today. I'll see you next time. Thank you for following, liking, sharing this with anyone who it might help. Our Instagram is moneymind.global, and I will see you next time. I'm Raven, founder of financial literacy social enterprise, MoneyMind.